Hello everyone, we are here for Kubera. More spin-offs, probably only two today because I'm recording this very last minute. Yeah, obviously it's the festive period. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas earlier in the week, and I wish you all a happy new year when we get there. Anyway, let's hop right into it. The time of creation took a very long time, and during this period, both Azteca and Azteca were fairly immature. This was especially true for Azteca, since many were mentally immature or incapable of controlling their powers. So, even the stronger ones had to run or hide away from Azteca if they targeted them. They had so-called clans, grouping them as the same kind, but they didn't share much in concept except for some unique physical traits, and even those traits varied widely on individual levels, making some look more alike to a different clan. There were females and male forms, but this didn't have much significance either. After all, they could switch between the two gender types as they wished. The majority had even figured out which one was their preferred type. And neither Rakshasa nor the idea of reproduction was a thing at the time. Hence, the boundary between close friends and lovers was very ambiguous. It was very ambiguous. Ambiguous is what I nearly said there. This is between the first and second as well, to let you know. Making it difficult for them to find a clear answer, whether something was love. Season 3, spin-off 15, between the first and the second. Kubera clan's firstborn was introverted in nature, and rather than going around, she preferred to stay in one place and write, talk, or grow plants. Introvert prefers to talk. I'm joking. On the other hand, the secondborn was very extroverted and enjoyed adventures, travels, and making new acquaintances. One day, upon returning from a few trips, the secondborn found the firstborn sitting in a large room all by herself. And since then, he refused to hang out with his friends and started sticking around the firstborn, joining her in activities that didn't seem to suit him. He'd even yawn and seem bored at times, but he did not leave her side. The firstborn felt grateful for his company, seeing how he became lively again when his friends came to visit. She couldn't help feeling guilty. It was around then that she met the firstborn of the Dragon Clan. Among the invited Azteca, there was one who was sitting quietly in one corner with his eyes closed. Yeah, sitting in one corner, as opposed to sitting in two corners, or perhaps even three if you have that capability. Sorry, I apologize. It's just funny. When she asked the secondborn, he grumbled about how he kept sleeping despite his efforts to drag him out of his nest so he could enjoy a change of scenery. Vritra, the king of dragons. For the firstborn, who rarely gets out, it was quite the experience seeing him this up close and personal. Not to mention the kinship she felt with him when she saw him distancing himself from the noisy crowd. Can I sit next to you? He seems to be awake. I guess he's just not in the mood to open his eyes. It didn't matter. It wasn't like she was going to hang out with the crowd anyway. And since she could still hear the secondborn from afar, she thought it'd be better to sit next to the dragon and keep him company. Why don't you go join them if you want to? It's okay. I don't do well with this kind of gathering. Really? I'm the same. There's no need to try to fit in. After a while, the firstborn visited Vritra's nest. Unlike the circling rumours of him being sensitive, he offered one side of his nest without reluctance, and didn't mind whatever she did in that space. To her surprise, their conversations would also flow smoothly. Unlike what his image suggested, he'd often carry on a long conversation. And when she told others about his chatty side, nobody would believe her. Of course, dwelling in someone else's nest wasn't all that comfortable, and dealing with the firstborn of a different clan was harder than dealing with the secondborn of the same kind. And yet, she came to think that it wasn't such a bad idea. No, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to let go of the secondborn and settle next to this dragon, so that the secondborn could freely do the things he enjoyed, instead of staying in one place, yawning of boredom. The change came unexpectedly. As soon as the existence of Rakshasa became official and the idea of reproduction was introduced, all Nastika that once mingled together, regardless of clans they belonged to, were shaken up and returned to their groups. Considering that some of them have already died fighting each other during the immature period, they couldn't undermine what could be the next meat shields getting through this infinite universe. Plus, there was a possibility that well brought up Rakshasa could potentially turn up to be Nastika levels. That is true. That is very true. As we've met a few, if you really think about it. Yeah, we got Maruna, who's definitely around that level. Obviously, Yuta has the potential to get there, if he keeps growing, of course. Although it might be time consuming until they bear fruit, for Nastika, with unlimited lifespans, it was something well worth the effort. The Asura were the first to realize the importance and start clan-wide mass reproduction. Those who'd been coupled with outside clan members ended their relationships to search for a new partner within their clan. Some preferred to find the one to fall for, while others just wanted someone powerful. It was a known fact that Rakshasa from strong parents had high chances of also being strong, so it was only natural for clan members to look to the powerful ones for reproduction. But, to their disappointment, the strong ones were seldom interested in reproducing, since, obviously, but ironically, the stronger you are, the less appealing the need for a meat shield becomes. And so, except for a few that had personal interest in mating, a considerable number of strong Nastika neglected it. Until the first generation Asura Rakshasa were born. Even though not all their Nastika participated in their clan-wide reproduction, due to their unique tendency to bear multiple offspring at a time, their Rakshasa outnumbered the Nastika in no time. As it is with everything, if you feel that you're falling behind, you start to feel insecure. Voluntary or not, after seeing the situation in the Asura clan, most stopped waiting for the one they liked and actively started taking part in reproducing. And inevitably, the pressure for the firstborn kept building on. Day after day, the Kinara clan sent correspondences requesting her to come back. And Vritra also seemed exhausted, getting earfuls from his clanmates about the dire situation. Apologies, I've not long. It's not been long since I woke up, because I would have, waited a bit, but this is the only time to record before this needs to be up. So yeah. Anyway, carrying on. Because dragons died when they fell in love with each other. A third of the Nastika had already perished. It was time for Vritra to step up and do something for the future of his kind. So, he made an agreement with the primeval gods to be granted halves to fill in for Rakshasa, and minimize the possibility of their kind falling in love. As a result, whatever little and dull emotion he had in him died out. He gave the coldest stare at the outsider female occupying a seat in his nest. Mimic had no choice to go back to her own kind. Welcome back, Kinara! It's Arivada. When she returned home, there was the secondborn looking quite different from what she remembered him to be. calmly organizing the room, peeling fruits. She didn't know what to make out of what she was seeing.
I'm sorry I'm late, Iravata. It's okay, don't worry about it. Your appearance, does that mean I should take on the male form because I'm the king? I heard that mating between one king and different female Nastika gives the best advantage. That it'd be a way for us to catch up to the Asura that are one step ahead of us. That a male king is more effective in accelerating reproduction. What? You were thinking that far ahead? The whole reproduction stuff must be weighing on your mind. I told everyone to give you time, but they wouldn't listen. All their demanding correspondence must have been stressful for you. But I really don't want to be a male. I know that it'd benefit the clan's reproduction, but still, don't worry. I won't ask you to be male. I don't think any of our clanmates would want that either. After all, you're much weaker in your male form. Since what gets inherited from the Nastika parents are the traits of the gender at the time of mating, I'm sure everyone would rather you in your female form. Then, why are you in your female form? Oh, me? Well, I don't have much of a gender difference anyway, so I just switched after you left home. I'm more used to this form now. But you've always been a male. What would make you switch all of a sudden?
Oh, come on. Come on, Kinara.
I'm not sure what. I was pretty desperate back then, but now it's not even clear anymore. I swallowed it once, twice, a million times, and then buried it so deeply in my mind that I didn't think it'd be brought back. That I didn't think it could be brought back.
With those last words, she stepped out of the firstborn's room, and all the while countless Nastika were coming in and out of the firstborn's chamber. She never showed up again. Not even on the day she stole the secondborn's name was the firstborn able to figure out what kind of feeling the secondborn had harbored. The secondborn had to bury so deeply. Then, one day, after a long time had passed, everything clicked, and she came to a sudden realization. She broke down in tears for 3 days and 3 nights. Spin up 15 between the first and the second end. Next, love letter. Interesting, 2 romance-oriented spin-offs in a row. This one was kind of messed up. I can't lie. This one was a bit dark, at least toward the end. Like that's kind of brutal. Yikes. Poor Iravata. Like, Jesus. Wow. I feel even worse for Iravata than I did before, but bloody hell. Damn, Kinara, you're awful. Right, spin-off 16, leveler, let's roll. First month of the year, D995. That's close to the present day, isn't it? Oh, good Christ, so many words. So we got friendly matches between universities of magic. There were no surprises. There were no surprises, that implies it's already happened. The 16th Night of the Witches, the most elegant festival on the darkest day, come to indulge in starry Rin Hollow. When? Month of Darkness. First day of darkness, hour of darkness. Where? Hello Private Magic Academy, Rin Hollow University of Magic. Everything seems to be bustling with crowds today. It must be the upcoming festival. Yeah. It's the biggest festival for female magicians, so I'm not surprised. Oh? The majority of famous female magicians of the said attribute are expected to participate. Not to mention the crowd gathering to watch the magic show by celebrities. Plus, there's that joint performance by Mr. Brill and Lila this time. Damn. After what we saw in the arc before the spin-offs, seeing these two cooperate in any capacity seems, well, I mean, reasonable, but the fact that we're trying to fucking kill each other as well. Ugh. When would people get to see something like that, if not during the festival? Well, Miss Jibril, I can't believe she's participating in such a dangerous festive performance during her pregnancy. You could say she's passionate, but on the other hand, she scares me. Shh, Mr. Talith is here. Mr. Talith, did you have a good time with your alumni? Indeed. And I have 2 guests that I met on my way back. I can't remember how I voiced him previously, but we're voicing him like this now. So make sure dinner is prepared for them as well. Talith Ruin, pureblood, 26 years old, indeed 995. Willav's overall rank 19. Priest of Destruction candidate, 3rd choice. So, who are our guests? Wow! Priestess Aline and Mr. Saha! Ah, Saha. It's been a while. Don't make a fuss of us, please. We'd rather stay quiet. We're here to watch quietly and then leave. Aline Heiss, pureblood, 41 years old and indeed 995. Willav's overall rank 3. Overall combined planetary rank 9. Priestess of Resurrection. Oh fuck. Saha On. Quarter, 36 years old and D995. Willav's overall ranking 26. Priest of Light candidate, 1st choice. Damn, he shoots up, doesn't he? Bloody hell. A lot happens between now and the present day. Season 3, spin-off 16, Love Letter. You two haven't gone to college here, and you're not participating in the festival either. Did you really come here just to... all this way just to spectate? Well, we just tagged along with Arguin, actually. Mr. Kasak brought us here, so the trip wasn't long at all. But then Arguin isn't here with you. She's originally from this... Oh, Jesus Christ. I read this Atera, but it's this area. I'm stupid. She's originally from this area, so she has people to see and places to go. Whereas us, we've got nothing to do here. We just got dragged here so we could get away from work for a bit. Let's just try to enjoy ourselves now that we're here. Think of it as the vacation you were talking about to take anyway. You know. I happen to have 2 VIP tickets for Priestess Payul's show. Would you like to go? Priestess Destruction at the time. She died during the Cataclysm. Willav's original overall rank 12. Combined planetary rank 7. Oh, 12? 2. Fucking hell. I really can't read. I really can't read, huh? That's an L for me. Let's carry on. I get to watch it often, so... I remember it being grotesque when I watched it a while back, so I'd rather not. No, that brings back the vivid memory of how I got ripped apart by that Payul bastard during the round of 16 of the combined planetary tournament. I'm sorry, I'll just keep them. What's that thing with the flower prints? It's just a letter. I was planning to give it to Jibril today, but didn't get a chance to. Why didn't you let her when you're a married couple? You always communicate verbally when you need to. Oh, it's just that oftentimes when I face Earth, things don't quite come out the way I want them to. Yeah, that tends to happen. I totally hear you. Really, I still don't get it. Anyway, that's really a pretty one you chose. Although I don't think it's Jibril's taste. Huh? What are you talking about? Jibril loves pretty little cute thingies. And she's delicate, too. That's why I picked the stationery with the floral scent. Delicate? Who? Jibril? You sure you're not faking it? She's not faking it in front of you? Jibril faking her behavior is also new to me. You're right, she's not the type to fake stuff either. Well, she must be truly fond of you. Everyone wants to show the best side of themselves to those they like. You think so? Jibril, everyone knows, was usually icy cold.
and it was hard to even picture her dating anyone. So imagine the shock when people heard of her getting married. I mean, I could barely get anyone to sit through class on that day. The impact of her marriage news hit her all the way to the University of Magic on Misty Shore. And the University of Elith as well. So many had hard feelings for you, Talith. Yeah, I got tons of beatings from my classmates too. I had them bumping into me left and right, half joking and half serious. I mean, with all the attention from everyone, I feel like I'll have to live up to their expectations. Well, it sure looks like you two are happy lovebirds. A married couple writing love letters to each other. It all sounds like a fairy tale to me. I kind of envy you a lot. Alright, if you're not interested in shows, how about a tour around Rune Hollow instead? Would you like someone to guide you? No, it's okay. First things first. Zaha, let's stop by the Temple of Death while we're in Rune Hollow. That thing you've been putting off because of your busy schedule. The Do Not Resurrect list. That. I'm still undecided, to be honest. What's there to even think about? To have someone else taking over your body after I die.
After I die, you mean after you die, I presume. Right?
I know, but still, from a third person's perspective, it's better that someone else gets resurrected in my body and keeps contributing to society. Contributing to society. Sure, that's an awesome thing indeed. But picture this. Someone else inside your body, making love to your fiancé. You sure you're okay with that? I mean, even Jabril added her name to the DNR list as soon as she learned about this. I really don't get where your hesitation is coming from. Zaha. For anyone who has a loved one, this matter is... Hold on. What you just said... Could I hear it? Could I hear more about it, please?
Night of the Witches, joint performance.
I can't wait to see the actual performance. They said the rehearsal didn't include all the magic.
Hoodie Ratchery is the best dark magic there is.
Irie! Irie! Come on, I told you to stick with me. You'll get lost. That was a successful final rehearsal.
I'll see you on the day of the performance, Princess Jabril.
Great job. What's this even for? It's not even the day of the performance. Another letter. It's a hassle writing back, you know. And I told you flowers just add more to trash.
You say that, but you always end up writing more than me when you write back.
That's because I never go back to it or proofread or anything. Running longer doesn't necessarily mean putting more heart into it.
And who's the person adding sugar water into the flower vase to preserve them longer?
Not me. It must be your secretaries. Jabril added her name to the DNR list because of you. She said that there was no doubt she'd get resurrected for her magic skill if she were to die in an accident. She also said that she could bear the thought of someone. She couldn't bear the thought of someone taking over her body. Oh, she could bear the thought of someone taking over her body, but not falling in love with that other soul.
But not you falling in love with that other soul. Fucking hell. Wow, I can't read today. I just really can't read today.
Oh, okay, your replies are getting longer each time because of your laziness. And my secretaries must have given the sugar water to the flowers.
Sure, why not? I'll believe you.
What was that for? Just cause something got on my nerves.
See, that shows she cares. And also, this as well.
What do you mean, just cuz? What's...
Well, okay. I guess you could bump me just cuz.
You just got your head smacked. You just got smacked in the head. And you're still smiling. What's going into you?
Nothing. I just feel good. I'm so happy. I wish we could live on feeling like this.
You, me, and our precious baby. Just like this. Happily ever after.
Yeah, about that. That won't happen. And, yeah. Yeah, the previous arc, yeah. That's a shame. That's really wholesome, but knowing things to come, it is horribly tragic. It really is. I would read one more normally. I did say I'd do them. I imagine that, yeah, it's the one after. No, we'll do one more just because the next one is a multi-parter, and I don't want to have, break it up like that. We will do one more. Amid silence at the beginning of time, there was a flash, then light and fire to alter the world. While Sky was mesmerized by the scenery, he soon realized something bright and fervent was inside of him. Oh, what was the name of the goddess of dawn? I can't remember. He soon, yep. Is this a byproduct of creation? Or perhaps it's a crystal of my anguish. He didn't know what it was, but he knew it'd get in the way of achieving his goals. It began with a U. Oh, fuck. And that something Sky discarded that day landed on the ground, illuminating the darkness, and breathed warmth into the icy cold earth. It became the dawn of the world. Spin-off, Season 3, Spin-off 17, Dawn of the Gods. Around the time when the ancient human race was settling on Earth. I'm nasally today. Ugh. And numerous created gods that were born began to form the defined egos. Dawn was still in her baby form, seemingly stunted. Ushas, there we are.
Why can't Ushas still speak properly? I heard she was born the way she was born. I heard she was born way before me. If her jurisdiction is Dawn, doesn't that make her a natural god? It's not like she was a baby, born a baby like the rest of us. Chandra, do you know anything about that? Well, I do have my hunches, but the darkness of the world had something he'd heard from wind and earth before. So he decided to talk to Sky and feel him out. Indra, what if someone else had the power of Dawn? Then we should kill that bastard and retrieve that power. There's someone like that? No wonder. I always thought that she was too weak to be the Dawn of the Sky. No, that's not what I'm saying. Just in case. How could any other being have priority over the Dawn before Ushas? I know, right? What do you think about you going to the top one more time? Huh? Why? I feel at ease as is. Everything's perfect. I got no complaints. That's you, but those around you. And why do others butt in and care about whom I decide to be? Of course, the right to decide whom you become is yours and yours alone, but the responsibility that comes with the disposition of yours is also solely yours. Don't blame the top or regret later about your deeds. I'll return that to you. But don't regret later on not having done what I did sooner. A little more time has passed since then, and the gap between the little Dawn and other gods grew even more apparent, making her someone like the youngest sister to their daughters. When other gods created, all left to avoid the nuisance, the night of this world remained with her. Night and dawn. Maybe it was because she was born close to her,
but Night stuck around, putting up with everything that could be bothersome. Other gods would look after Dawn when Night had things to attend to. And they were mostly higher gods, since Dawn was considered an important god regardless of being young. Dawn was often left in the care of Sky at the beginning. But because she'd go from liking him to suddenly hating him for some reason, she was sent to other gods until eventually returning to Night. The seemingly endless babysitting continued, and one day, Dawn broke into tears, wanting to meet with Fire. The three powers that gave birth to her at the beginning of time were Sky, Light, and Fire. And among them, she's never seen Fire before. Fire was detained in Hell for being unable to subdue the scorching heat after the glare at the beginning of time. So for anyone to see him, they had to go through death. Not Agni. He can't step out of here until God Vishnu clears him. Then, could we go in and see him real quick? You both melt just by looking at his eyes. Yikes. I guess there's no way then, Ushas. Let's head back. This little one, I think she took a liking to you this time. She'll throw a tantrum forever if you don't let her do what she wants. Will you take her for a bit, please? I'm sure she's just being fickle. I'm busy, but I could for a little while, I guess. They were both wrong. Dawn didn't want to separate from Death when Night came back from her, and she often revisited him if she did get separated. Knowing how busy Death was, Night tried her best not to take her to him. But then, Dawn would take her tiny baby steps and set out on the journey to the underworld by herself. Although Death would let out a deep sigh every time Dawn got brought to him by his attendants. Look how happy she looks. Seeing her wave those little hands with a beaming smile, he never turned her away. Even when his attendants offered to look after her instead, he refused. He'd refuse and work holding Dawn in one arm. Then one day came when Fire finally cooled down his heat and got released from Hell. Of course, Dawn showed little interest in him for a while, but it wasn't long after she seemed to have lost that interest and returned to Death. Why'd you keep going back to a workaholic god?
Bored! Very bored!
Exactly. You should go to the other gods if you're that bored.
Yama's bored!
I'm not bored at all, thanks to you. There was no way to tell whether she would understand the weight of piled work in front of Death. But whenever his face looked drawn, Dawn would make him smile with her laughter and sweetness. And on the day when a massive number of lives were lost, and Death was faced with an overwhelmingly heavy workload, Sky came to see him. He said they couldn't wrap up their work because of Fire's betrothed, and asked Death to break Fire's betrothal as the one who coordinated it. He refused, stating that the decision to break the betrothal should be up to Fire himself. But Sky wouldn't back down. Prick. And right when a fight was about to break, Dawn stepped in. Ah? Ushas, when did you get so... Don't disturb Yama in his work. I think you're misunderstanding my intentions. I'm not doing this to disturb Yama. Of course, he has to work. There's so much to be done. All I'm asking is a simple thing, to break Agni's betrothal. You don't bother Agni either. It's not me bothering. It's that betrothal that's a bother to this universe. It's something that must be gotten rid of. Indra,
Why? Why are you so ugly?
What?
You're too ugly. I know you're the god who's bored the most, but I don't hang out with ugly ones.
Contrary to her grown-up appearance, Dawn still said somewhat childlike things and disappeared. Death explained how she'd grown up all of a sudden, and she still had a childish aspect left in her. But Sky didn't seem to be in the state to listen to any of his words. Ugly god. Right. I'm dreadfully ugly. True. It took a long while for Dawn to reach out to Sky again. Partly pushed by other gods, and partly of her own will, Dawn held out an olive branch. And Sky, smiling as if nothing happened, responded, I left at the top the reason why you need to apologize, and I'll continue to do the same. So feel free to scoff at me, accuse me, and condemn me. Such a voice is needed, somewhere in the sky. From now on, Dawn was the only one among the gods to earn the right to hurt Sky's feelings, and yet always be forgiven. There was much controversy as to why Sky did what he did, but the few who had a good idea of this why chose to remain silent. Brahma, Chandra, and Vishnu. So the story spread out like a scandal for some time, but as much happened between as not much happened between Sky and Dawn over a long period of time, it faded away. Spin-off, Dawn of the Gods, and next, In My Delusion. Interesting. Still challenges a prick, but yeah. Interesting. Getting a bit more on Ushas is not what I was expecting. I mean, obviously I was as soon as I saw that it was about the Dawn, but you know what I mean. I wasn't expecting that in the spin-offs. That's quite neat. That's neat. But hey, with that out of the way, I've been Aussie. You've been you. Leave a like, comment, sub, notification bell, share the video around you, the usual YouTube stuff. With that out of the way, that's a tar. For now.